Okay, we're on the 1700 turn, 5 p.m. of Terrible Swift Sword, the first day. As you can see, not much has changed on Cemetery Hill, except there's some First Corps guys there now, and a bunch of supply wagons. Otherwise, the 11th Corps still there, 11th Corps still over on Culp's Hill. They're detached because Howard himself is still over here north of town. He's right there. As you can see, the Union position has crumpled back into the town. There's still some First Corps units out here. This is Rowley's brigade, which is wrecked, so they're just continually falling back. Paul here, his brigade, I believe, is not wrecked. Yep, they're still a little ways away from being wrecked. So his guys are kind of holding up this left flank where the rest of these guys fell back. I've advanced here. You can see this is Perrin's South Carolina brigade. They're wrecked. I'm just advancing them. Wrecked units can't move adjacent to enemy units or melee with them, so they're kind of useless offensively, but they can provide some mass in terms of defense if there's a counterattack. So I moved them up along with Lane, who is the only brigade in Heath's division that's not wrecked. So they're advancing up to try and push the last of the First Corps off the line. You can see there is Stone. He got stranded way out here. He was meleeing here and was engaged and or pinned over a series of turns. So he is isolated along with the 149th Pennsylvania, which was one of the larger regiments. He only had 2 regiments in his brigade, so his other regiment's been destroyed, but he has not yet been wrecked, so he was a pretty solid brigade. I've kind of screwed up my stacks here. I believe Scales is wrecked, so he can't advance into here, at least not. Can't advance and still be useful. I don't think any. Well, there's a couple. There's at least one of my 11th Corps brigades that's wrecked, and that is Schimmelfinnig, who is he's here and he's the 1-3. So there's one of his guys. A couple of them back here that are routed. I believe there's one that's routed. I think Shirts may be on top of one as well. Yep. But he's not routed. But they're all wrecked, so they can't push back up to the line. They're kind of holding fast in Gettysburg. Kursanovsky is here. As you can see, he was wounded. There's a replacement in place. They're close to being wrecked. 2 more points away, and the 2-3 brigade will be wrecked. A lot of his guys are routed. There's one there, he's okay. And there's one who's routed, and this guy just rallied. So still a few of Kursanovsky's guys left out there. There's one still on the line. That's von Gilsa. Barlow was wounded, and so Ames took over Barlow's division, and then I've got I think underneath Howard here, I've got a generic brigade commander to take over Ames's brigade. These guys have done better than expected here on the right flank. Originally Avery and Smith's brigades came across these bridges down here and attempted to do a wide sweeping flanking move along the badly overextended, and it was really more up here at the time, badly overextended Barlow and Ames line. It turned out that they did quite well. Avery and Smith, as it turns out for the Confederates, were not the best brigades to lead an assault with. I should have done it with Gordon's brigade around the flank. Instead, Gordon plowed in straight ahead here, ended up taking a lot of casualties. I think currently Gordon's brigade is, in terms of casualties, has taken more than any of the other Early's two corps guys. Looks like, yeah, Avery is wrecked, and I believe Smith is also wrecked. And those are the two that I led that flank attack with, and they were not the best guys to lead with. Gordon can take a lot more damage before being wrecked, as can Hayes. Hayes kind of came in here. Gordon came in over here, and I had Avery and Smith on the flank, and that didn't work out very well. Those guys took a lot of damage, and then I got, bad morale rolls, and they ended up routing back off the line, and then the Union counterattacked. So the Confederates really made a hash of this left flank attack, which ideally should have been what destroyed the whole Union position, and it ended up failing rather spectacularly for the Confederates. Kind of the same way that up here, Stone has held out for so long. He's basically held up Iverson's entire brigade, which should have been throwing its weight into the continued pummeling of the Union position, because Heath's brigades all up here are just completely out of gas. They're all wrecked. Elaine is the only one left, and he does not have. He's got about 3 pips left before he's wrecked. So there's not a lot of weight in these green striped guys here. It was all supposed to be coming from Dole's and Rhodes division, the yellow striped guys, and this sort of unhinged or took some of the steam out of their assault. But as you can see, there's a huge hole here in the middle, and these guys are pushing up forward to finally kind of try and sweep the last of the 11th Corps through town. But in the 1700 turn, you can see I've still got the cav over here. I had briefly, when the Confederates were launching this attack over here, I had briefly moved the cav into this open space here, just in case, the Confederates got frisky, which I ended up not doing. I went for a destruction of 11th Corps, and it ended up costing me. In retrospect, maybe I should have just had them charge right for Cemetery Hill, but I didn't, and now it's too late. So I've moved them back off the line. As you can see, I did keep the 1 division back here for 11th Corps on Cemetery and Culp's Hills, but also, as you can see now, we've got 12th Corps arriving. So I will probably move these guys up to Culp's Hill and merge these guys back onto Cemetery Hill. Not the only reinforcements showing up, though. We've got Longstreet arriving over here, and as you can see, it's quite a little stack. So there's a couple, that's a full division arriving there, and here's a Union division arriving over here, a little bit smaller than 12th Corps. But the Union reinforcements are really going to start piling in over the next few turns. So I think the Union will be good, holding on to the Cemetery Hill position for the end of day 1, starting day 2. Whether I actually play day 2, I don't know. This has been taking up 3 tables in my room for several months now, and I've definitely got a good handle on the system. Do I want to try and play it out or move on to something else? I am feeling a bit antsy lately to play other things, so this may be the last video, but never say never, I always say.